Hey guys, today we're going to look at the Villager Trading Hall. As you can see, I'm in a bit different of a world because this is actually my testing world. I need to change that due to rain that happens here, as well as the grass causes all the animals to spawn, so probably this will be the last time you see this world. It's just little testing things that I've done here, just to make sure builds work before I bring them into my other worlds. Though now with the full sand, this will probably change and I'll start doing a bit more. But just wanted to show you beforehand we start building on this is what it's actually going to look like. And so this is the completed version. I'll link in the video description the actual build that I stole this from, but mostly the way this works for villager trading. Of course there's a wanderer over here, but mostly you have a system here and a villager, and that's what they're trained to do for their job. And so we'll come over here, and due to pathing, when I step on this pressure block, or pressure plate pushes up the block, and it causes to where they won't be able to see any of those other ones. So if I bring one down, call forth the villager, he's not going to do anything. And since we're in working hours, we can go ahead and let's get a brewing stand. Brewing. And so we're looking for clerics currently. So we can place it down and then he'll change. And then we can check his trades. And if we don't like him, we can take it away and he'll get unemployed. And then he'll change back. And then we can check it, say we like that. We'll send him on his merry way. And since we only have one set up, he won't go in. But because of this, we've set up a return system, which will bring him all the way over here and his cart will break. And then we can set up a killing chamber to kill him afterwards. This is mostly the basic principle of it. What would happen is this would be where our villager breeder comes in, and let's get some villager eggs. We drop them down, and where a villager breeder would come in, it would bring them over, and if they're babies, they'd get stuck there. But since he's an adult, he would come over and drop right down, and then, oh, well, that's where he ended up. Let's go ahead and kill him. You can't request a villager. And so to request, a minecart will get shot out of here, which is recycled from around. Minecart gets shot out, take him, bring him down, and then he's ready to work. You have to be standing on this plate for any of this to work, or if I stand off of it and we take away this guy, he would track to the ones over there. But when we step on it, as you can see if this works. He might still have tracking to it now, but if this block was here, he wouldn't have a pathfinding to it, and we'd have to take out that block or one of those for him to be unemployed. But mostly it just saves your time, and whatever you're trying to do, whether it's a farm or anything, then it'll change over. But we'll switch back to our other world to start this build. Hey guys, we're back in our regular world on survival. This is where the room that I've been digging out to see if we can fit this villager trader hall. With the testing world that we had over there, I tried out and I made sure to build a 20 by 20 so that this would work. And this is a 20 by 20 room, but with the redstone, we might have to extend it a bit, but we'll see how that goes. This video will probably have a bunch of transitions in it, or I might leave it raw depending on if there's any hiccups or not in the system, but we'll see. So we'll start the building now. We'll go ahead and we're expected to bring the villagers somewhere over this way, so we'll go ahead and dig out a little path for where a water could be placed. Let's go ahead and get our torches out of the way. Nothing spawns in here. Let's go ahead and get a water bucket. Hoping to put a full-on villager breeder in there. Maybe move all of these villagers over and to start that breeding system. Nice thing is this old base is built on a slime chunk, and so I have quite a bit of slimes that will spawn in and out. Let's go ahead and grab these. We don't really need, I would say 3 buckets of water, but I'll fill up a 4th just in case. If anything, it doesn't hurt. Oh, signs. I thought I was prepared for this. Maybe I wasn't. Thanks for all the feedback on the last episode. I took off that other texture pack as I realized it was causing a bit of an issue. Some people were saying it was a half realistic and half regular, which it is. I couldn't really find one I liked yet, so I'm going to keep researching into it and see if I can find anything. But for the time being, we're just going to run default until I find a bit better of a texture pack. So I'm going to start laying down smooth stone. That way I know where this base actually is. I don't want to get confused if I'm digging underneath or anything like that. Go ahead and bring it out. Hey, perfect. That was not intended, but I'll say I did that on purpose. Let's go ahead and bring this up. This would be the perfect time for me to have some ender pearls or elytra, but the end hasn't been conquered on this yet, so that's a bit of an issue, but it's all good. For this, we'll bring it... Ooh, I think that might have been wrong. For this, no, I was right. Bring it here, place a bucket of water here. That was wrong. Bring it here. And place this one up here. Then place the bucket of water there once I move that guy. Yeah, there we go. And that mostly what it does is the baby villagers will be down here. And since they're one high block, they won't be able to come up here until they grow up. And then they pop up and come up here. Let's go ahead and block this off so that they don't have any pathfinding. Get that guy. And then since that block can be there, go ahead and do that. Take out that. And perfect. I have tons of glass, so I'm just going to enclose this just to make it a bit easier because I don't want them... I realize that if they have even one block to bounce on, they will pathfind to it, which is super annoying. But we'll just go ahead and carry on this. There we go. And so mostly what this does is it will pull the villagers up and they come dropping over. So we'll go ahead and bring them down. Oh man, I should have used my silk touch. Bring this down. Bring that down. And then what we want to do is we'll place a sign right here and place a water bucket right here, and then that will just push them over. Actually, I'm going to place a sign right here. That way they have a bit more of a fall to it. And then that will drop my villagers right to this point. And now this isn't the end point, this is just where they'll drop. So we'll go ahead and block this off, which they don't need to drop far, we just don't want them swimming up. So we'll go ahead and we'll place one there, there, and there. And then that's it. I'm actually going to change this block out into this, nope, just that block out for a glass piece. Let's do some excavating. And this is where our redstone will come in, so make it a bit flush. I want to be able to see the villagers, and I'll probably bring them up as well. Hey, there's a little cave down there. Alright, here we go. You know what I forgot? I forgot a dispenser. That's alright. Go grab this dispenser. This base is really coming out. I was thinking about for the series to keep this one titled as the Quarantine Files and just kind of do updates on it, and then for the other one to actually have that as a new name for survival. Oh yeah, I took all my string over there, so let's just take the 3 sticks that we need. We need redstone for it, and we'll take some cobblestone. Do dispensers don't need redstone, do they? Yeah, they require a bow, redstone, cobblestone, I think. Could be wrong on that. But yeah, for this will remain the name of the Quarantine Files, and whoops, forgot that I need a crafting table in there. So we'll go ahead and steal this guy. And then for our survival series, that will start up as underneath a new title and actually be playthroughs instead of just snapshots of what is going into this base. But we'll go ahead and that is a dropper. We don't want that. We want to grab our string out of here and then make a bow, and now make the dispenser. Haha, I was right. There's usually about a 50-50 chance that I'm right with those. So the way that we want to do this is we'll bring it up, and then we'll want to bring that up with power rails. And so what that means is we can do that here. Let's get our torches, and then we'll grab our powered rails. Mostly all this is going to do is it's a little bit cheeky of a system, but we'll bring it over, and you see how that one arches up. Well, then we'll come in here, make sure that we have our silk touch on. Come in here, and mostly what we're going to do is arch that one up. And so if we place one here, that arches, but if we break that, then it stays that way. And mostly what this does is mobs can be pushed through a transparent block, which we'll want to make that one transparent as well. And then due to that, they can survive. And so this will come up, pick up the villagers up here, and then bring them back over. So we'll go ahead and place our dispenser right here, where we place the torch, of course. It wouldn't be any other way, right? And then we'll place our dispenser, and then that will be loaded up with minecarts. So that will come up and then come over. And so what we want to do with this is we'll probably keep it on the same level and then rise them up, because that was an issue I had on that creative world, was trying to work in this build area, just because there's a lot of components that need to go into this. But for the most part, well, this would be where my strip mine is. I found that. But yeah, for all the components, they're a bit high, and so we're going to keep it here and then try to keep most things either above the ceiling or underground, so that way the villagers will be on playing level with us and we don't have to excavate too much, and we can also keep it looking a bit pretty. But let's go ahead and grab these guys and bring it over a little bit. Oop, almost fell down another hole. Fill those with andesite. Most of this will get covered, and so we're not really worried about the block type we use, just make sure we don't fall down the holes. And then we'll extend this out. So what we'll actually do, instead of extending that out, we'll do a dropper. And so we'll raise it up one, and the reason we're doing this is so that they fall onto a track. So we'll raise it up another one. It's not really necessary, but it's more of just to keep this on a different playing field. And so we'll raise that up, and then they'll drop down here, but since that's unpowered, they'll stop, because all of this will be powered. And then they'll stop on top of this guy. We'll take a regular one, and then they'll be on their way after that. And so this is where they will stop, but they'll have to pass through this block, so that's why we're putting this solid block here. And then all of this will have to be covered as well, probably with glass. I might do with some stone to make it look prettier, but that way they don't have any type of tracking that happens. So this would be where our build plate is. This is where you saw the villagers sitting at. So we'll go ahead and put up a little spawn area, and this is where the pressure plate would be. We'll go ahead and make that pressure plate real quick. And this is just going to be really, really simple redstone. What do we want the block type to be? We'll get an oak log for it, just like the other one, just something a bit different that gives at least a little bit of go ahead and take these out so the leaves despawn. A little bit of visual difference. All this is doing is pushing one piston up, and so it's not really a complicated design at all for the aspect of this redstone. There we go. We'll go ahead and place down the andesite there, and then can we get that block? That'd be really nice. Hey, bring that down. Go ahead and take this out. That way we can do our redstone work down here. And then we'll be wanting to stand there, so we'll go ahead and take our sticky piston and a block, and then we'll run our redstone to back, and then we'll take our pressure plate, and boom, that's all. Let's go ahead and clean up this mess. Go. and that. And so we'll go ahead and build around it. Place down some stone. And now this can be any block type. It could be glass, anything, even fence gates. And you don't have to use the piston if you use fence gates. But I like the idea of pushing the block up and then bringing it away. Another thing that I'm going to do is actually grab some of these redstone lamps. Just a bit of a way to spruce up the place, to bring a little bit of lighting to the room. I'll grab these levers. Let's see. All the cats running around from that villager spawner, or that villager room with all the farmers. Get a bit annoying, but it's whatever. And we'll go ahead and place the levers down. This does work, right? Or do they have to be on the bottom of them? Aha. Sometimes I never know. Go ahead and take this glass. And we'll build it up one more. Because if they think they can hop over it, then they will, the tracking will be initiated. But now we just need to cover this up. So I'll see you guys back in 10 minutes. Well, not 10 minutes, like seconds for you, but I'll be back. And we are back. As you can see, I tried making this look a little bit pretty. Of course, it's a bit of a hard thing to ask for, as it's a technical build and a lot of things just need to be glass. But we're going to run up here and place down some glowstone. That way no mobs will spawn up here or anything. Also make the place just a little bit prettier. You'd be surprised about this adventure of glowstone. I went to go pick up a stack, and I have a just pathological fear of the nether for some odd reason, just of getting lost. It's not even of dying, it's just getting lost of many times in old Minecraft where you just wouldn't be able to find your way. Like I remember playing on Xbox 360 when it first came out for the Xbox, and you if you didn't have a map on, you didn't have coordinates. And so there was times that I would just be gone, that I would have to have a buddy sign on to the world and then just help out. But yep, so this is all of this setup. What we need to put in here is a chest. That way we can hold all of our different types of occupations for the villagers. And then okay, that was working just a minute ago. I wonder if I've somehow severed the line. So we'll go ahead and drop down here. Ah, that's what's happening. I definitely goofed up on that one. I bet a lot of people were expecting me to find that out at some point, or never. But we'll go ahead and not do that this time. That's something I really didn't expect to happen. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to take these levers and place them on these sides. That way they don't interact with that. Like I said, I'm not a redstone wizard. I definitely forget about little things like this. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. Go ahead and power all those on. And because this is just vein mining area, I'm not really worried about this showing too much. We can have it all exposed and it'll be fine with me. Let's make sure this is not powered. It is not. And then if we come up here, let's hide our mistakes. There we go. That's gonna bother me, even though I'll never see it again. And then boom, and that comes up, and we need a glass block there, or tracking would happen. There we go. And then boop, and we come out, and we come in, and this would be filled with brewing stands, composters, stone cutters, everything that is needed for their trading. But now comes the fun part. Yeah, this is going to be fun. The whole system is a bit complicated, and so there might be multiple cuts of me running back to the creative world. So we'll definitely be back and forth. But for the most part, I'm gonna start building and I'm gonna just set up the system. Let's go ahead and bring this here. And all this needs to be slabs for the rest of it, just for spawning purposes. I don't think they can spawn on powered rails, but the last thing I want is them to spawn on powered rails, and so I'm gonna make sure of that. Go ahead and knock out that piece, and then we'll bring it up one, and we'll rotate it. Actually, we'll bring it back one more. That way, it's a little bit of distance from there. Because most of the redstone will be in the wall, so I'm not really worried about all that. And we'll bring it all the way over. Let's go ahead and get our powered rails. Switch it over to these guys. And then the way this needs to happen is it needs to go power rail activator, power rail activator. Go ahead and bring this guy over. Activator, power rail activator. And then we'll stop there, and that'll allow us to turn this corner and then retrieve the minecart. We're actually going to go one into the wall. That way it's a bit more seamless, and you kind of just see it disappear into the void. I don't know why I'm making these slabs, but we'll go ahead and make these guys slabs. And then we'll throw down just a torch up here. And this will come over. Actually, we don't need that guy. We can just go boom, boom, boom. And then we can place down another powered. Then we'll turn this corner. All right, and this is when it's going to start to get the complicated part. So I'm going to go back to my creative world and make sure I have everything down for this, as it's a bit complicated of a build. But I'll be right back.